Hi, this is Kendra from Pencil and Pigment, and welcome to my weekly Plan With Me video. I will link all the products I'm using and showing in the description box below in case you're curious and want to know what I am doing. Okay, let's write down all the things I drew this past week. We kind of have to, we have to time travel a little bit. Oh, we've hit June. Were you ready for it? I was not ready. Okay, so I drew a charcoal heron. I haven't done charcoal at all this year, so I definitely need to do a monthly challenge that is nothing but charcoal. I did a pink cat. That way I can get in the flow and use all my stuff. I'm calling this one sweater weather. I did an ink person, but I heavily focused on the pattern of the sweater. Okay, I did another pastel landscape. Oh my gosh, I think I like pastel landscapes on Thursday. That's funny. I can't explain my moods, but maybe they're day related. I did African wild dog. Sort of breaking apart a little bit in the illustration. It's not hyper realistic. This was a 2-dog drawing with ink, and this was a colored pencil portrait. And then as for videos, this was my week 21. I know, it's crazy. Maybe it's not. Maybe you're okay with it. I think time just flies by super fast. Then this was my warm-up drawing video. Okay, we are done with this one. Nice. Okay, moving on to the next one. This is a gallon leather. Okay, where was I? Okay. Let's draw and write down all the things. I think that's still in focus. We doing all right? I think we're doing okay. Okay, so I drew, what the heck did I draw? I didn't even coordinate this at all. So I don't really think, it was one bird, one cat, one landscape. I do like landscapes. I need to not write off the page. Okay, one landscape and then 2 dog drawings, even though one of the drawings has 2 dogs in it. If you want to see these are all up on my Instagram. I post every single day. That's sort of my online digital accountability. And you can see what I've drawn for the day. And one portrait. And sort of I'm calling it one person. Because I don't really ever do the full body, and I definitely never sort of focus and hone in on clothing. But I was in a mood, so I think that, yeah, okay, that adds up to 7. The math is mathing today. Excellent. For Monday, we're in good shape then. Okay. I know. We're getting a big pile of dirt delivered today, so you know what I'm going to be doing for hours. I'm going to be playing in the dirt before I sit down to draw. We are doing our landscaping in sections and pieces. And this was the warm-up drawing video. We can't landscape everything all at once because my husband and I are doing it ourselves. We didn't hire it out or anything, so. All right, now last week I did a close-up portrait and I used, oh, I'm gonna grab my jar. Okay, here's my jar of colored pencils in case you're like, how does she do it? Okay, so this was the Caran d'Ache Luminous. This was the Malachite Green. Is it Malachite? Yeah, Malachite Green. So I thought for today's I would use the Faber-Castell Polychromos. This is the Phthalo Blue. Now the major difference between these is the Polychromos is oil-based and the Luminous is wax-based. Now I use these pencils together, like interchangeably. These are the two like primary colored pencils I use. So, two brands I use, not just the two individual colors. But I don't notice a lot of difference between them. Like there just isn't, it's negligible to me. And maybe it's because I'm not solely like 100% colored pencil illustrator. That maybe if I did just one brand and then switched, if I did 3 hours a day for 30 days with just Polychromos and then switched, and I don't own a lot of luminance. I think I own like 3 or 4 colors, 4. And then switched over, I might be able to notice a difference, but I think it's negligible. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit so we can go detailed with this. All right, we're definitely a little bit closer. I apologize, my nails are a mess. I've been landscaping. That's my only excuse. So I thought for today we would go even bigger with the eye. Like we kind of went big last week and I was gonna lean into it and go even bigger. So we'll see how much I can get done. Again, I'm waiting on a phone call for the delivery truck. All she wants is dirt. I make my husband laugh. Like, if you want to make me happy, just, you know, bring home bags of dirt. That's all I need right now. It's June. We live in the northern hemisphere. We're in the United States. The rains have stopped. Knock on my wood desk. And I am ready to get to gardening, like, heavily. So I do our indoor garden. We have an indoor herb garden that's annuals. So I work on that all year. We don't have any grow lights or anything. I just kind of wing it and things are kind of stunted while there isn't enough light. And then when the summer months and spring months hit, things sort of start growing a bit more prolifically and taking off and things look better. But I start stuff in the winter. I'm terrible. It's not always successful. I'm not always successful with my gardening, especially if I'm trying to do like flowers. I'm stubborn. Like I've had pretty good luck doing pansies and violas year round. And we throw them in salads and we'll lay them on a skillet and pour batter over them so we have flowers in our pancakes. I think I want a pencil board because I'm pressing down pretty hard. Okay. But other flowers and stuff is a no-go. So there just isn't enough light. And they get cranky and they don't do well. They get leggy because they're trying to search for the sun. Like, what are you talking about? I'm in a gardening place, mentally. We've purchased all the stuff we can purchase for this year, which feels pretty good. Like I said, we're doing it in stages, and the soil needs to be amended in certain places, especially for like blueberries. I don't know why they're like soil high maintenance, but we need to do some of those things that's next year's problem. It's the same with like planting apples. I really wanted to plant apples, but the nurseries are just like, come back for the bare roots in January. You'll have way more variety. And I'm like, well, I like variety. So that's going to be a rainy day project. Planting apple trees in the rain. 100% rain. Oh, that's going to be a lot to unpack. Okay, how am I doing this eyeball? You know when you forget where you're at? Same. So, and I'm just alternating like pressures. Right now I'm pressing as hard as I can with the Polychromos, and that gets that burnishing effect where you don't see the white page underneath, and that gets the darkest value. And then I will go easier in a little bit with my pressure, and it'll start to lighten up so we get a full range of color within the one pencil. I like doing monochromatic. I can really see what what I'm doing here with shadows and lights and the value ranges and making sure that I'm including all the things. I suppose it's not for everyone. Colored pencils aren't for everyone either. I don't know, I really like them, especially if you like fine details. I will tell you the polychromos and the luminance, they're soft. Oh, Doggo says hi. They're soft, which is great for blending, but you end up sharpening them a lot if you need a fine point, and so you go through the pencil quicker, which is why I would lean more towards the polychromos just because of the price point. It's a bit more budget than the luminance, if that's a factor, if you're doing a no buy, a low buy, if you're on a budget or a limited income, like all these things to consider. If you buy a set, if you buy them individually, like price breaks for quantity, there's just all the factors. So, and I need to do my mediums purchase for the year, but I think I'm just going to do Blick and Amazon. Where I live, we don't have a lot of stores and shops that carry like artist grade stuff. It's mostly student grade for college students or more drafting, like engineering things for that audience. So I don't, you know, get on the shop owners about it. They've got to make money, so they can only carry what they can sell. And if I'm the only person that's like, I really need artist grade stuff, there's no point in carrying that just for me. That's silly. So I kind of have to shop online, which is a bummer. I love supporting local folks, but it's just not always feasible. Okay, so we kind of have an eyeball going. Yeah, yes, okay. And I need to make sure I'm kind of shadow and highlight. I'm gonna negative space some highlights here. Okay, otherwise, you can erase. I have the Pentel cap erasers on a bunch of these, but some of the pigments are staining. So once you lay them down, you cannot 100% erase all of it and go back in and go, yeah, that was too much. You're kind of committed to what you've laid down, which that helps build confidence if you can't erase stuff. Whether you like it or not, and some folks aren't into that. So if you don't like the permanency of some of this stuff, beware the staining pigments, which reds, purples. It depends, you know, certain companies use different stuff. So we need some veins in here, you know. Can you see that detail? I would love to do like one of those blind, close my eyes and pick a colored pencil challenge. That some folks do, like blind things like that for their videos. I would love to do that, but I've met me and I would totally pick a yellow and then I would have to stick with it because that was the deal, but we wouldn't be able to see anything. So that's why I chose the phthalo blue ahead of time. You got to be able to see what we're doing here. Otherwise, it defeats the purpose of drawing and hanging out together. Okay, let's go. Let's go dark for the sort of eyelash shadow here. Maybe eyes aren't your thing. I just find them so fascinating. With people, with animals. Yeah. So, you know, to each their own. I'm gonna need a little bit of eyelash things in here, highlights in here. Okay. Shape and form. Adding highlight and shadow is what turns your shapes into forms. The eyeball is definitely a complex form. That's a lot of fun. Eyelashes. Yeah, so there's a bunch of things I don't I don't partake in like fake eyelashes is one of them. So I'm not like up on the whole shape and design of eyelashes. Like I know there's companies that make very specific shaped ones and they look really cool. And I think it's amazing when people find a thing they love that makes them happy and makes them feel wonderful and beautiful. Like I support you, do it. Do all the things. But I rub my eyes a lot. I'm a consummate allergy sufferer. It's a shorter list to say what I'm not allergic to. Hold on. Okay, sorry, there was, I could hear somebody coming up to the door. It's a shorter list to say what I'm not allergic to, or what I am allergic to. Well, I don't know. I'm allergic to a lot of stuff. I had that shot thing where they like inject stuff under your skin, down your arm, to see like what you're allergic to, like what's freaking you out, why you having a tough time. I'm allergic to everything. I have a very low tolerance to allergens in general. So, am I allergic to plants and trees? If there's enough pollen, yep, I'm allergic to all of it. Pets, yep. Dust, yep. Metals, so much stuff. I'm allergic to everything. So I'm constantly trying not to touch my eyes, but in reality, I'm touching my eyes. I don't mean to. But sometimes it just feels good to rub them. So I don't, makeup, I can't wear makeup. There's a bunch of stuff I just can't do. Like my skin would absolutely disown me. So, and I rub my eyes. And it feels good. So I'm not going to stop doing it. I know I shouldn't, but okay. Like, but you have pets. Yes, we have 2 cats and a dog. I love them. I don't have to do shots because my tolerance is fine as long as I don't rub my eyes with dander on my fingers. If I rub my eyes with any, like after I've pet one of them, the cats or the dog, my eyes feel like I have set them on fire. Don't recommend. Don't recommend that experience or that feeling. It's wild. So I'm pretty careful. But I've had pets in my life, like consistently almost my entire life. So to not have pets would be weird. I wouldn't like it. I feel like I would be pet lonely or something, and I would just miss having cuddle fuzzy buddies to snuggle with and stuff. Like that would be weird. So, yep. She's stubborn. She's not making the best choices. We need an eyelid here. Okay. And we need to come up. I'm not going to have any space for the actual eyebrow situation, I don't think, but that's okay. I'm all right with it. We'll endure together. This is just bits and pieces illustration of drawing an eye and having fun with that, so that needs to be a little darker. So, how is your week going? How was your May? How was the month of May for you? I know a lot of folks were doing mermaid, a drawing challenge of mermaids every day for the month. Did you partake in that? Do you like mermaids? Personally, I've done that challenge 3 or 4 times, 4 or 5 times. I've done it a lot, and I need a break from mermaids. My youngest daughter loved them for so long that I drew hundreds and hundreds and hundreds for her to color and cut out and play with and do stuff with as she was aging, and the amount of mermaids I've drawn in my life is a lot. So I'm not really into it. I'm into it looking at other people's stuff. Like, do it. I support you. I want to look at your stuff. But for myself personally, I'm kind of done with it, which is okay. Okay, so we got that portion. We're doing good there. We need to come down because there's going to be a This is nose. So we just kind of need a little bit of skin. And when you're this close, like zoomed in this close with your illustration, if you're going hyper realism, don't forget face hair. Like, even everybody has hair on their face, like baby fine hairs. So that would be something if you were going to do like a full-on blow-up illustration of a face, of an eye. Make sure you get the baby hairs, get the moles, the freckles, get the scars. A perfect looking skin face where there's no pores or hairs or anything it doesn't look realistic. And if you're going for hyper realism, the flaws are what really make the illustration. And I don't mean like, oh, you have a scar, that's a flaw. I just mean you're human and that's a part of you and that should be included. So include all the things. I'm gonna kind of blend this out a little bit with my finger. It's the only thing with Tomoe River is it's kind of streaky. I'm going to kind of do some moles. And moles and freckles are interesting. You want varying sizes. You want varying darknesses. You don't want those to be patterned and symmetrical. That's not a thing you want to do. So even within that tiny detail of doing moles or freckles, you want variation. They're not all going to be spherical. They're going to be oblong. They're going to be weird. Like, not to the point of you need to see your doctor and have that checked out, but they're just some are dark and some are pale, and yeah. Okay, so that's my eye. I'm calling it good. I'm going to stop here because otherwise we're going to get into nose, and we can talk about noses for days because physical anthropology is fascinating. So, yeah, there's my eyeball. Well, we could do some birds. Why not? All right. Okay. There we go. All right. I hope you enjoy this. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful week, and I will talk to you later. Bye.